Okay, so welcome, Hybrid, to this interview, and very, very glad to have you over here. Thank you for agreeing to do this with us. Now, of course, CAG, they are heading to the Charlotte Major. It's an exciting time. It's very impressive how you guys achieved qualification this time around. So, I guess talk us through your season. It started off pretty shakily because you lost to FAV by a heavy margin, and FAV last season they were in the relegation zone, so it kind of started raising some questions for the rest of us. But you kind of stabilized it, and obviously made it into the playoffs by the end. So, what happened?
Yeah, well, the problem with I think one problem that we always had is that when we start a big tournament or when we start an important tournament, the first match always goes bad for us. It's a mental factor. Um, I don't really know why. Maybe it's because the players need some pressure on to start performing well. But if you look also at the majors, usually we always lost the first match. Also,
Yeah,
like very bad way. A rogue against the major, which, when no disrespect to rogue, but in that group, at the side of the major, in that group was probably, apart from us, the worst other team. If I remember correctly, they didn't pass groups. They were fourth and
perhaps.
we
Yeah.
were fifth. And the same thing happened here. Obviously, credit also to Fab because the addition of Ramo was a really good addition for them, but mainly was because of the reason, because we always need to, let's say, put some pressure on us and then we can start delivering. But it's obviously something that is not all that good because you always start one step behind the others. So something that, I don't know, should be fixed, but we'll see what happens at the end.
Yeah, I might pull on that in a little bit. But this is your fourth international event with the team, and it's the fifth for the players overall, minus I think all but one of them, minus one
You
player.
get her.
So yeah, I get it. So he played Showkeep way back in the day, if you remember.
Yeah.
So that is like a strong, run of experience that many APAC teams don't have. I think even when like the IG roster went to international events, they also only made it to like five, and they are considered one of the better, or were the old team, I guess, were considered one of the better teams in APAC. So like, how valuable is that experience? How much is it? Do you think is going to help in Charlotte? All the lessons from 2021 and stuff.
Obviously, it's something that will help us quite a lot compared to other teams. This major, it's a record in terms of how many new teams there are.
Yeah,
We never had a previous
33 new faces, I think, at the major in terms of players, which is like ridiculous. Yeah.
I mean, and apart from that, there are some teams that had some international experience, but it was only once. Look at the Chiefs or I
Mm.
don't know, but still. So no, it's for sure gonna help us, but I think it has helped us has helped us way more in APAC because the domination that we had in the Japan League last year was mainly for that reason, because we had way more experience to everybody else, even Fav and Gats, and the adaptation that we learned internationally, we brought it back in APAC and in Japan, and it was the key factor for us to basically not lose one single match in last Japan League. Internationally, it's always a struggle because we are always going to be seen as the team to beat, the one that everybody should win against. And even though everybody says that we are a difficult team to play against because nobody expects what we're going to do and how we're going to play, everybody is going to consider us as, let's say, the underdog, even if we probably have more experience than some other teams.
Yeah.
I bet a lot of people would say that W7M is better than us, but compared to them, we are way more experienced internationally. But for the deep run that they have done in the Tier 6, it's
Yeah.
obviously it's a different league, but on paper, technically we should be better, but a lot of people would doubt us winning over
I
them.
mean, it's a fair thing, right? They are in Brazil. They are playing Liquid Phase, NIP, MIBR, all the very strong opposition that basically cleaned house in 2021. So I guess that's kind of what happens. But then coming back to APAC, you guys also cleaned house. Oh, not really cleaned house, but you guys completed a very impressive 2-1 victory against the APAC dominators from 2021, Damwon Kia. Big shock, I think, for pretty much anyone. But the smile kind of tells me that you were not that surprised with that victory.
Well, obviously, against Damwon, it's always a big fight and it's a big struggle always. But as I said in previous interviews, every team in APAC could do the same thing that Damwon did in was it the Sweden major that they were one bullet away from?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna repeat it. Every single APAC team, probably not all of them, but the top teams from APAC, all are at the same level. Cyclops as Damwon, Talon. Talon never went to an international event, but I've been saying, and
they were one round away. They basically arguably should have been at the major.
Yeah, but also last stage, before the stage started, on screens they looked insane. But the problem of Talon is that usually they are struggling on transferring the performance on screens to the official matches, and it looked like in this stage they were able to do so, kind of. But also the Chiefs are a very strong team. I mean, overall APAC has improved quite a lot. It's not only Damwon. Damwon has been the team that was able to exploit those factors and the power that APAC has. But that doesn't mean that they are the strongest team in APAC and that nobody else can even do better than them in a major. Whatever happened in these playoffs, they are not going to be at the major. And maybe they should have been there, but they are still not. So probably Ping, it's something, but Ping would have been something if they beat us.
But you guys beat them next door, country next door on the country on the same server on identical ping. So that was a very impressive victory from the outside.
There wouldn't have been any ping issues if Talon and Damwon would have won their matches against us and Direwolf. So
Talon absolutely should have won that, and they had the advantage. But that's the issue that they're having. So obviously you guys believe that finally I guess, is it fair to say that it feels like the luck turned your way this time around? Because looking at the map scorelines, it was 8-6 that you lost, and then the decided map was 7-5. Is it like at this point when all the teams are this close, is it just like coin flip, matter of luck? On this day, someone's gonna be a little bit better. On the other day, the other person's gonna be a little bit better.
Yeah, obviously luck is always a big factor. The times that frag grenade lands on somebody and he lies with 1 HP left, it's insane, and
especially online.
Yeah, especially online, but it is something that probably the public doesn't notice, but as a coach, as an analyst, I always notice and always think about those things, because it's a 1 millimeter more on closer and that person is dead. And usually that person is that at the end of the round, when there are 30 seconds left, matches the round. Always happens. But obviously I notice those mainly for my team, when it happens for my team. But I'm sure that it happens also for the other teams when they play against us. Exactly. So obviously, like it's a big factor, but I don't think that against Damwon was mainly luck. Was that we could have literally played one round. Whoever won that round could have went to the major and wouldn't change it anything. 3 maps. I mean, before the match, we were quite sure to go to the third map. because and if we went to the third map, the chances of going to OT were quite high. So against Damwon, it's always like that. But as I said before, against everybody, and against in that day, I think our players were said just enough with the Damwon train
I think
and with
one
the
thing,
pro Cyclops and whatever.
Yeah, I think one thing I really want to highlight on that matchup, specifically on that day, is how bad you made Rin look. Now, that was remarkable, because I don't think Rin has ever had that bad of a match in his life. 111, I think, was his like scoreline, 112, something like that. He got one kill, which is like a cleanup kill. Irrelevant in the grand scheme of things. So, like, was that like a target, or like was that just a consequence of your strategies, the way you kind of choked Damwon out? Because arguably, in a best of 3, I think CAG has never really looked better. The way, at least on that map, they look.
No, I don't think it was like we never targeted one specific player, because on Damwon there are teams that they have, let's say that their carrier, their guy that always frags a lot and wins the match. But I don't think Damwon has it. They have 5 strong players, perfect in their roles, but our goal wasn't on targeting Reen, neither Yas or anybody else. I think was probably the pressure got on them, probably because one thing that most of the times nobody talks about is that basically the average age in APAC is quite low.
Yeah.
And
except for no time GG.
Exactly. I was gonna say it got high this stage only because no time GG joined.
Yeah.
But I bet that we have internationally, compared to the other regions, one of the lowest average age in
probably
world. And that's like a big factor, because the younger you are, probably you are less experienced, not in the game, in life. You are prone to act in a different way, probably less rational, less calm and collected. And when you see that doesn't work, you panic. And I think the best example is what happened in the last round for Rin. Exactly. He was so concerned on the player that was in, where was it?
Nine?
No, it was lockers, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the small lockers.
Yeah.
That was down for basically.
Yeah, he should have been coming back way before that. Yeah.
But the pressure goes like, man, if that player is gonna flank us, that player is gonna flank us. Yes, but meanwhile you think that you have 5 seconds left and the round is already over.
Yeah. So
one player that is more experienced.
Yeah.
Rarely.
So your team has that experience, and like against Damwon, I guess it finally came to fruition. But in the past, we've kind of not seen that work out. And there's a couple of questions over there, and maybe the first one I want to ask is just why? Why it doesn't seem like a lot of times the mentality for the CAG players seems to crumble at the very end, like. What's happening? It's like it's happened multiple times at this point.
The same exact reason.
Same
it's
thing.
Not. The oldest person in Cyclops is C, which is 20 years old.
Yeah.
A-Gator is 20, and he's playing the game competitively from 2 years. At the tier 1 level, from 2 years in this same exact roster. I'm quite young as well. I mean, I think I'm the 3rd youngest in Cyclops, and it is what it is. And that's actually what works for us, for the player specifically. When we have Kion is, I wouldn't say old, but it's quite, it's way older than the rest of the team. Yeah. He's able to let the players recollect, basically, and let them understand what they have to do in terms of mentally, let's say, be more focused on the game and less on their thoughts. And it's something that I'm not able to do. mainly because I don't speak Japanese, but Fuji has been struggling as well. And Kion, it's the person that has been able to fix that issue. Sometimes, always doesn't work. Obviously, as we noticed in the past majors, and basically that's it. We get on our nerves, and it's something that a team like, I don't know, BZ probably happens as well to Pamba, for example, because he's young as well.
Yeah,
But
they have
BZ
Canadian.
exactly, there's a Canadian that has won
Mints behind them.
Exactly, and has it's way older than him, so he can, let's say, calm them down.
Yeah.
We don't have a Canadian in our team because we decided to not have a Canadian because we think that a team that is way more, let's say, has way more synergy, which Suzuki brings. It's more important, but you end up falling in that problem, which is mental status, that if something doesn't go well in a match, doesn't go in your direction, you crumble. And the perfect example was against Team One. Many times we could have won that third round, and we just panicked, and everybody was doing everything by himself.
So on Reddit, a couple of months ago, you said that you guys discussed hiring like a sports psychologist, which Chiefs have, which Rogue have now, but you guys decided against it. With these problems, what was like the rationale behind deciding against sports psychologist?
I think, well, we've been talking about a psychologist for before the last SI. After the T1 match, we already discussed about it, and I brought it back after this last SI. And there are some reasons, but I think the main reason is because the psychology figure in Japan is not all that. It's not seen all that well. It's seen as something that if you have a psychologist, you're sick. Obviously, it's something that
not really sick, rather less than being. I mean, I get it. Being from this Asian environment, therapy or like psychology is like the big bad words. There's something wrong with you. Oh.
Which, as a European, I don't really understand, but I respect with. But it is what it is. If I'm 1 against 5, I can do anything more. It's democracy, and that is.
That's interesting. Was that like part of like the mutual decision to leave? So you're for like the viewers who don't know, Hybrid is leaving Cyclops after the Charlotte Major, but maybe I guess you said it's not that's like that pushback was not the reason, but like both of you guys, both parties kind of seem to agree that it's time to move on. So could you kind of elaborate on what the mentality is for both?
It wasn't me leaving after the major hasn't to do anything against with the team,
right?
The players. It's personal decision, also some disagreements with the orgs, and but for me, if some things were different, I would have enjoyed so much continuing with this roster with Fuji, which after some time I can say that he's a fantastic person and a friend, and it is what it is. Sometimes these things go in this way, and you understand that it's time to move on. It doesn't have to do anything with the team, really. I don't have anything. There's no bad blood with any single member of the team.
But the push, so the disagreements with the org, not on the sports psychologist aspect, maybe something else, but you can't say.
Yeah, no, I can say.
All right, fair enough. Now, I guess we were discussing this on SiegeGG Live yesterday, and Hunter raised a very good point, I guess. Like, we have this like idea that CAG are like chokers or whatever, or like, they fail at the final hurdle. the frauds. There's like memes on Reddit, let me win, which is quite funny. But Hunter made a very good point that outside of 3 teams in APAC history, Fnatic, Norengo, who don't exist anymore, at least not in their form, and Damwon, which is just 2021, no other APAC team has ever been able to mount a sustained challenge to other international teams at these events. So I guess like what the point now is, how do you get to that consistency? It's been 5 events for these players, except for Ayagator, but it doesn't feel like it's coming in. What is the plan here? I guess.
Keep punching that wall until it breaks. Sooner or later, it's gonna break. No, but it's something that it's not all that easy, because obviously it comes back to, I think we already talked about
a few times.
Yeah, that is APAC is some years behind the rest, like actually in terms of time, because it joined after the competition. And even though I think I thought it was gonna catch up later.
Yeah.
Actually, APAC is showing, also thanks to Damwon, that there's a possibility for us as well. And probably I don't think we achieved the region equality. That would be, in my opinion, would be fantastic. There's no underdogs, or maybe the underdogs are the teams that are completely new to the major, but every single region has a possible shot on winning an international event. I don't know. I think it's a matter of time. Maybe it's not gonna be this time for us or for any other team in APAC, and maybe Cyclops is gonna win the next major when I'm already not anymore in the team. I wish they do. Obviously, if they don't win this major, I hope we win. I wish them winning everything in the future. But I think it's just a matter of time, because APAC has been improved, not only in one thing that probably a lot of teams don't realize, has also improved internally, nationally.
Right. Yeah. I mean that's true. But I guess 2 questions from there would be, one would be like so I guess Damwon doing it thrice last season is like, I guess, partially down to the luck that you alluded to. Can you really get lucky 3 times?
No. I don't think it's just luck for Damwon. Obviously, there's a fundamental, which is they are more consistent team than us. That's for sure.
Which is, so how do you catch up to that level? What is, like, I guess, the difference that we can't quite tell from the outside? So we ask you.
I think it's just the basic. We are different roster in terms of playstyle.
Got it.
Their playstyle is way more allows you to be more consistent.
Mm-hmm.
But our playstyle, in my opinion, it's probably a playstyle that doesn't let you be always consistent, but when it works, we're unstoppable.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that I think we're unique. Maybe another roster is similar to us. It's Elevate, but
True. Elevate Onigiri is like, oh, we're a little bit different from CAG when I talk to him. So
no. I think we are more extreme than them, but
yeah, exactly.
If I have to choose one roster that it's
similar-ish,
yeah, Elevate, but we're unique, and that one, let's say, has a more European-ish or North American play style.
Or Brazilian, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, obviously.
Not traditional
in APAC. Yeah, exactly. But still a lot of APAC. I wouldn't say that Damwon it's I don't know, LFO or Rogue completely. But in the scale, they are for sure way closer to Europe and the other regions than us.
So,
and that is the reason.
The difference in playstyle, you talked to me prior to the Mexico major, like aggression is the way to go. We are like 9 months on from that point. Talk us through. It's like what's happened? Like, is that still the plan? Like, have things changed? Because you guys still play kind of say similarly.
Yeah, mainly yes, it's still the same, but I bet somebody spotted that sometimes, in rare occasions, we are more conservative. Like in some games, when we understand that we need to chill, we do it. And I think in the who was it? There was one match that was quite clear. It was against. It was like during APAC North. I think it was against Talon in the second part, but I'm not sure. After that rehost of the Aruni pick.
Right. Yes, I remember the clubhouse game. Right.
Yeah. Exactly. We understood that it was better to chill out, and we were able to play better and at the end win the game. But that's not common. I'm gonna assure everybody that's not our thunder for sure. We're gonna stay
but yeah, I guess. But this is something that your team lacked previously. You would say, like, this is a recent stage 1 2022 development. So this time, there's a chance that it could definitely pay dividends. So yeah, continuing on. Before we get to like the Charlotte major groups, actually, we have seen like a sizable disparity with the Japan League and pretty much every other league and even tournaments in the world. Like, the amount of money you guys got for winning the Japan League last year, and had you even combined it with like the win at the with the Japan Championship, I think, you guys got second. That would have been 70,000 extra. It was $135,000 for winning the Japan League. Combine that, right, on offer for just the first place. That is more, or is it, I think just slightly, I think there's more, sorry, than what the major prize pool is for the winner. Which is wild. So, like, there's a little bit of a question that might be going on in a lot of people's minds. Is CAG prioritizing Japan League above all else? Because, if you're, being the short career that esports pros have, it would definitely make sense to get as much as you can out of it.
Not at all.
Nah?
No. Yeah, probably something like, obviously, we are happy to win in the Japan League. Mainly, also the prize pool is a big factor, but also to show that we're still the best in Japan, and that's the main goal. But I think being the best in the world, it's better to be the best in Japan.
Yeah.
So no. Our goal has always been to win internationally, and if we have to prioritize something, that's gonna be for sure the international event. Right. Never gonna be the major, the RGL.
So I mean, that is definitely what you think, and I think most people would say. But is that does the org agree? Is that the org's priority too, or can you not say?
No. I think it is as well.
All right.
Even from exposure standpoint, winning the Japan League is gonna attract the Japanese people that are involved in Siege. Winning a major, it's gonna involve also the Japanese people that are not involved in Siege.
Correct. Yeah.
So whatever happens, winning a major will bring you more Japanese people in terms of Cyclops, but even international. So no. I think it's always the international part that is more important.
Fair enough. Now, coming to the group, this is like reminds me of Giants at SI20, surrounded by 3 Brazilian teams, and I say 3 because XHead is basically a Brazilian team. Let's be real. Over here, like like Liquid, Xset, and who's the final team?
Liquid.
Liquid Xset? No, Liquid Xset and
Well, Furia.
yeah, that's right. Liquid Xset Furia. So like, not an easy group, I guess, but talk us through what were your thoughts when this was revealed yesterday?
I feel like we have a magnet with Liquid. How many times we played against them? I mean, I love that roster. They're an amazing guy, but man, I don't know. Maybe from one side, I'm happy because sometimes we struggle against NA and European teams. Some of our biggest defeats were against NA and European teams. If you look at the SI 2020, BDS and Empire, obviously Mexico is big factor and Team One is an Brazilian team. But I'm glad to be against Team Liquid because we can try to have revenge, and sometimes it's something that the players like as well, to show that we can beat everybody. And Liquid, now it's 1-1 because we didn't meet them in the Mexico major, if I remember correctly. Yeah, they weren't in our group, but we met them in the first SI that we won, 2020, and we beat them. And then we lost against them in the last SI. So closing against them is gonna be fun. In terms of Furia, they're a strong team, but
new.
Exactly, they have 2 new players, if I remember correctly, and obviously, I think they have one of the best fraggers in not only in Brazil, but Fantasy is quite strong. But I think they're it's gonna be it's gonna be fun against the match against Furia, because in some things we are similar. Not obviously in the play style, but we are like we tend to rely on individual play, both teams sometimes, and it's gonna be a frag fest, in my opinion, that match.
I think every single match in in that group.
Yeah, but I don't think against Liquid it's gonna be like all that much. I think against Liquid it's gonna be way more technical, even though they have really strong fraggers as well. But it's gonna be more mental consuming, the match against Liquid. Right. Against Furia, they like to say it maybe on Reddit. It's gonna be a ranked match of that, but I'm not sure. We'll see. Right. We'll see.
An Xset?
Xset, it's a question mark. I've been seeing some North American league, and they've been playing well. Obviously, it's strange because I think they're more experienced players are Yoga and Kino, but they are super young.
And Bodega is like the experience.
Yeah. So I don't know. They might be the best team in the group, but also the worst team. So we'll see. Obviously, it's maybe a bit of a cliche to say this every single time about the major teams, the teams attending at the major, but everybody is there for
potentially,
a reason, so.
Potentially to win. I think since 2021, it's been clear since like NIP won SI21. I think since then we can say whoever was at the event could have, with some luck, probably could have won it.
Yeah, if maybe in this particular event, you don't say that every single team can win the major. Maybe because, no disrespect to Dire Wolves, I mean, I'm really a big friend to them and their coach. But obviously it's their first event, international event. If they win it, gonna be one of the best stories. Not in APAC,
Empire is the only one who have done it after like Penta. Yeah, it was like I think Penta and Empire are like the only 2 teams. Well, Navi, how did I forget about them? 3 of them. So they debut internationally and they win it.
Konami.
Yeah.
But since probably at the last SI, you would have looked at the teams and you would have probably said everybody can win this event. You would say obviously there's some people that have a higher percentage than others. Probably the lowest percentage would be on us, but still a percentage. So we'll see. But good luck to everybody, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, looking forward to seeing how I guess it plays out. So closing this out, what is your goal for this major? Playoffs? Like, is that like that's it?
I don't even have to say it. No. The best possible result. No, truly. I mean it from the bottom of my heart, because obviously for the players is to win everything, and for the org and Fuji and Kyon, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
But
the realistic goal, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, for me the realistic goal, winning everything to the final.
Yeah, that would be good.
But truly, maybe we lose after in the first match of the playoffs, but passing that group stages, for me would close in a perfect possible way this chapter of my career.
Yeah.
And it would, I'm sure they would give the players and the rest of the team the confidence that they can do better. Because truly these group stages shenanigans for us have been always something that gives you a punch right in the face, and it's always hard to come back, but we always came back. I mean, we're destroyed mentally after the team one match, and that was clear during the last stage of last season. But we came back, and I assure you that none of the players, none of the people in this team is someone that easy to give up, doesn't give up easily. And passing those groups would mean the world, not only for us, but I'm sure also Japan has been waiting for too much time
since Nora.
And it would be amazing if we don't. It is what it is. I mean, probably they're gonna call us frauds. They're gonna call us chokers.
I mean, let's be real. Liquid were eliminated in groups before. I think 2 SIs. They were the boss, and one of them, both of them had an APAC team in the mix. So anything can happen.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, exactly. Everything can happen, and if this is the 4th event that we don't pass the groups, fuck it. I don't.
It's all right.
I don't know what more to say. It is what it is. But I bet I truly want to assure that we won't pass those groups. Because I've seen some comments that they say they don't want to pass the groups. They go just there to have fun, which is true. We go there. The players, I'm sure that they're the team that
they're gonna have fun.
Yeah, always tries to have fun. But the goal is always to win and to pass and to go as far as possible. If we don't, it is what it is. Destiny was like this, and we were gonna be frauds. In your minds, we're gonna be. We're gonna be what we are. We're gonna be triers. We're gonna be always believers in ourselves, in our minds. So I don't really care what everybody else says.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining me for this interview, Hybrid. Hope you're having a good day, and hope this Charlotte Major will be a nice swan song for you and a very good event for CAG as well. Have a good one.
Thanks. Bye.